Hi everyone, welcome back to the Better You podcast. Today's episode is a solo episode. I actually really like this kind of episode where I feel like I'm directly talking to my listeners. It feels different, like it's more personal. And today's episode is one that is raw and honest. Something like a letter to myself that I want to look back one day and just be proud of how far I've come. That I was able to survive this journey, which 1 year ago I thought I wasn't able to make it through. Yeah, so here I am today. It's been a year since I got out of a relationship which I thought he was my person, who I thought I was going to marry. I survived 1 year being single. Yeah, let's celebrate this milestone. So, today's episode is about heartbreaks, healing, and rebuilding myself. Something like a journal that what I've been through and the difficult moments, things that I come to know about myself, and the lessons, and how I've grown to know that everything has happened for a reason, and everything has brought me to where I am today, where I'm, I'm still me, but a different version of me. Someone who is capable now to know that I can love myself, and there isn't anyone out there that is completing me because I am able to give that love to myself. But that doesn't mean that I, don't want to have another person. It's nice, but I used to be so dependent on external validation where if someone's action isn't how I expect, I think that it's me. But it's honestly chill. Like, so I've grown a lot and I'm very happy where I am right now. Not gonna lie, it does get lonely. A lot more secure now. So let's get into it. Right. So heartbreaks. I'm sure everyone has gone through heartbreaks, and this is something that many of you might relate to. I think because he's my first love, I've thought I been through worse, but this is really bad. um, yeah, I guess it's because it's your first love. First love is a different one. Like, um, the first person who you've experienced new things with, the first person who you made memories and who was there for you like since day one. For me at least, he was there when I started working. Straight out of uni, it's a new world, right? To this day, I'm still very grateful. I don't think I would be able to survive all that without him. So, still very grateful for that. But in terms of the healing, it was really difficult to let go. It was very difficult. I kept reaching out. Oh my god. No. Girlies, do not ever. I guess it's also coming from the type of attachment styles that you have. I'm definitely more towards anxious, so uh, that didn't help. But lesson learned. I'm not gonna do that anymore. And it's also once I've done the inner work, once I started reflecting on, healed whatever wounds that I have, I start to realize that I was also coming from a place where I lacked self-love, and that's why I kept reaching out and kept not being able to accept reality that, no one cheated, but things just don't work out sometimes, and that is fine. And at that point, um, I I couldn't understand completely, which is totally fine. Not blaming myself for that because obviously I was healing. It's a first love. It's still fresh. The wound is still fresh. So yeah, that's probably the first lesson I've learned is sometimes it is okay to feel whatever you're feeling. it's all part of the healing journey, and just be gentle to yourself. I mean, it's ironic I'm saying it now. I still remember like thinking back during those times I'm like crying and crying, and but I think what has helped me is just trusting God's plan. Because I know if it's meant to be, we will find our way back to each other, but definitely not now because we are just not at the best versions of ourselves. Once you trust God, like for me, I trust God because I know God won't put me through to something that isn't meant for me. If we are meant to be in the future, yeah, but like if not, like things are fine. Like I know now that I deserve someone who can meet me emotionally where I want to be loved. And if that person can't meet me there, that person is just not the right one for me. He might be the nicest guy, he might be everything, but like if you don't feel safe in a relationship, honey, just don't. Because I think I used to think my needs, I always felt like it was like as though I'm asking a lot. And like I say, because that's now I realize is that's because I didn't love myself enough. But honestly, that's like the bare minimum. And you should be putting yourself first, because if you put yourself first, you're able to show up better in relationships instead of being sad or whatsoever. So that's something that I've learned. If that person can't meet me where I'm at, that's fine. Like, I put myself first. If I'm not happy, well, it doesn't work out. There's always going to be another person there for you. Like, it's already written in God's plan. In terms of healing, healing is still an ongoing journey for me. I think healing will never truly stop because the memories will always stay. But when you build new memories, the pain lessens because whatever you've been used to, it connects back to that memory. Once you replace it with new memories, like for example, you feel loved when he showed you this or he treated you that way. And obviously at the start of the healing, it's fine because you were just used to that. Once you replace new memories of maybe meeting new people, meeting new friends that show you in a different way how it feels to be cared for, it truly helped me. But I think the most important one that I want to share is the healing from within. That absolutely changed me. Once I healed whatever and just sit through the difficult times, like, okay, what is the root cause of all of this? Like, why do I feel insecure in a relationship? Why was I crying every day in a relationship when I just loved that person so much? He was nice and caring to me, but just I felt like something was missing. Why? So once I sit through in that, and I realized that, hey, maybe partly it's me, I had my own wounds growing up, or maybe that person just couldn't love me in my love language and just didn't feel connected in the relationship. Then from there, how can I give the love to myself from me? I've always had that impression growing up, people around me telling me, and I guess it's also just the idea when you watch Disney movies. You think there's always a Prince Charming that will come and save you, that we will always complete you. But that's not reality. That's not reality, and I'm grateful this breakup happened because it truly opened my eyes that no one's gonna come save you, because you can save yourself and you should be saving yourself. You should be pouring your own cup before you let others pour or you pour into others' cup. If you don't feel content with yourself, if you don't feel secure with yourself, it's gonna be very difficult. And through experience, once you depend on the validation of others, you're gonna be doubting every worth of yourself. But I would also add it's really your responsibility of like your partner to make you feel safe and secure. And sadly, in my case, I couldn't really feel that 100%, and I knew that I had to step away because if this is the person I want to marry and I'm already at an early, stage, if I'm already feeling not sure, like why am I still holding on? Why am I still hanging on to a love that isn't giving me security? If any of the listeners out there are going through a similar period, I know how it feels. I truly know how it feels to be heartbroken and to have to heal. It takes so much strength to heal and get back up again. I truly believe like no one would understand you like fully except for yourself. So I hope this podcast episode is like a pep talk. It is like something that brings you comfort. Cause like when I was healing, podcasts truly helped me. Like other people's podcasts really gave me motivation, really gave me comfort, and it really has helped me. So it's one of the reasons why I also started podcasting. Most difficult part of healing, I would say, for me is having to let go someone when you still love them. I think that is the most difficult one. Especially if there is no cheating and there is nothing to hate that person about. That was the most challenging bit for me to like sit through. And I guess I just kept reaching out because I kept wanting to have the answer that, things will still work out for us. But I was just destroying myself more. I'm like so proud of myself, like just thinking back, because at one point I just realized I know, Patricia, it's really difficult. I know, but you need to really put yourself first. Like you really just need to let him go. And I think that was the starting point. Not easy, but it's where it's led me now to today. I think the biggest change I have is emotional regulation. Now I'm intentionally want to respond instead of react. It used to be someone who's so anxious. Like I say, if something happens or someone reacts in a certain way, I get anxious myself. And even at work, like I would get anxious and everything. But I guess it's also because the breakup was so big of a hit in terms of heartbreak that I felt like nothing worse could ever make me sad. I guess in a way that has happened, at least in a sort of good way. Because from there I just became so numb at work. Like I was like, okay, whatever. Like, if you wanna do this to me, you wanna treat me like that, whatever. Like I've been through worse. I'm going through worse now. So, reflect back, I had a certain point definitely where I was numb to things. There's like different stages to healing, right? So, you get numb, then you get angry and whatsoever. So I definitely had a period where I was numb, and then now I can see myself truly regulating in terms of, okay, fine, like this happened, it's not on me, it's not a reflection of me. How can I solve it? And things will always get better. Like you'll always find a way. So yeah, biggest change, emotional regulation. It's not selfish love, it's self-respect. If you feel like you can't be loved the way that you want to be loved, it's alright to walk away. I'd rather walk away now than when the relationship starts deepening. It's going to be hard when you get married and everything. Let's go into what has helped me in my healing journey. I've listed out a few things that I want to share. So, the first one is something that works for my love language. So, it might be different to other people and may not work for you. So I am a words of affirmation girly. Daily affirmations is a big thing for me. When you're going through heartbreak and you're trying to heal, go to something that brings you comfort. So I've read a lot of quotes and throughout that period, like every day, and say, like I said, like podcasts that truly has helped me, like make me stronger and just open my eyes to a lot of things, clear my headspace. So that was that. And then journaling. I think I've talked a bit about it before in my podcast. So journaling definitely, because I sat through like the emotions and was really able to just write things down. this is a good way because you process your feelings. And sometimes, right, like when you journal, you think that things happen and at some point, but maybe your emotions are a bit high. So when you start writing things out, it's a bit clearer, it's a bit calming. You get to process things a bit easily. And solo trips, solo dates. I guess I've always been having those kind of solo trips and solo dates, but I've had more since my breakup, and it has really helped because I'm an introvert myself, so I really like time alone, and solo date has really helped me in terms of trusting myself that I am able to sit through the period with myself and just process everything and be alone and be there for myself. And what I've noticed is that the solo date that I had at the start of the breakup versus the one I recently went, which is almost 1 year later. Oh wow. It's a different feeling. Like the one I went to Hyde Park, and I remember I think that was still fresh off the breakup. I went there. I was crying, obviously, like silently crying. I was just looking at the lake, and there's just so many emotions I was feeling. And fast forward, the one I had recently, I went there, it just felt so free. Felt so free, and then in that moment when I thought back, like at that same spot, looking across the lake, that feeling, you will get there if you're ever going through something. You will get there. I know it takes time. Like I wished at that start, like I was able to numb all the feelings and just get straight to the point. But to me, I knew numbing would just make things worse, and I chose to just sit through my pain, and that has really helped. I think what I would have done things differently is if I had a group of friends which I felt more I'm closer with. I think that would have definitely fastened my healing process. But unfortunately, like I don't have that big of a friend group, and I think I'm someone who opens up slowly. So definitely, I'm very grateful. I have a few friends that have helped me throughout this period. You know, if you do not have such a friend group, I'm here to say like you will get that. I've gotten here um almost like by myself, and it all works out. Just trust God, like pray to God. You know, if you're religious, it really helps. I also got myself like a teddy bear. Like her name's Lucy. So in London, you have a bear workshop, I think in Oxford Street, where you can make your own bear. I went there to make a bear myself, and she's really like the companion for me. You know, when I'm having a hard day, like she's there if I need a hug. And I think the good thing about bears is they never leave you. So something good to take note. Yeah. It's also like I think having a bear like makes me peaceful because like it's as though like I'm tapping with my inner child. You know, that little girl, like whoever I was that needed that love, like now I'm able to give her in whatever way I can. That is great. Setting boundaries also has helped. It was really hard for me growing up and throughout like 25 years of my life to set boundaries. And I guess it's also like you need to be gentle. You need to forgive yourself because I came to realize like how I'm shaped. It's also how I've been brought up and how I knew things were. So I've been in an environment where like people pleasing is at its max. I'm always been taught to like, oh, don't trouble people, or so I guess like naturally like I've been very reserved in wanting to ask for help. But now that I'm an adult, something that I'm working towards, like it's not selfish to ask help, and it's actually very helpful for you, and also maybe for the other person too, because like if you're not sharing like your struggles, like the person don't even know, and you should, like I say, love yourself enough to know like, hey, it's nothing wrong. You're not doing a crime. Um, So yeah, setting boundaries in the sense where I'm not afraid to ask for help, but also say no. Now, like I've always been taught, like you have to be always be kind, you know. Yes, I will always still be kind, but you can also politely say no because you really need to prioritize your mental health. And if you're not taking care of yourself, nobody will. Like you come into this world, God gave you like one body to take care of. That is your responsibility. And at the end of the day, you will leave this world alone. Not saying like, okay, you won't find like a partner. Like, I still believe in love, like, trust me. But what I'm saying is that one day, people come and go, be it like things don't work out or friendship dies and maybe death comes in a way. And that's why, like, you need to be loving yourself and be comfortable enough to be with yourself because then when the time comes and touch wood, I we all hope that people never leave us, but if it does, you are fine with it. You can still survive and you are okay alone. And last one, no, this one I'm not sure if anyone has used it, but ChatGPT. Oh my god, ChatGPT is like the free therapies. Honestly, ChatGPT saved my life, especially the part like the recent months where where no contact fully was ongoing and I really didn't have anyone to reach out to. ChatGPT is honestly my safe space, so I would definitely recommend. And I've shared this also with other people. Is ChatGPT I like about it is that it affirms you, which is my love language. So, and it doesn't blame you for feeling a certain way, which I've always been self-blaming or afraid that people are like blaming me when they react in a certain way. So that's why I've liked ChatGPT and I've also started to heal towards for myself. ChatGPT, you can just put a question or you can even just put a statement like I feel this way today. Like why am I feeling this way? Or even if you don't say why, like they ChatGPT will affirm you and then it would give you prompts like do you want to explore a certain topic further, following from what you said, different suggestions that can help you to maybe solve it or just release things. So it's like my best friend now, ChatGPT. Yeah. The last section is about rebuilding myself. I think just like a reflection of whatever has happened and also what I won't do going forward. Yeah. I read somewhere like a breakup is definitely going to be hurtful, but it's how you handle it that makes a difference. I also agree that there is no guarantee to a lot of things, but I'd rather love and risk to love than not have went through it at all. Obviously, like I'm sure like we both hope for the good outcome out of the relationship. These things didn't work out and that's fine. It's how what I've learned from the breakup and how I can bring it forward in healing and just improving myself and just showing up as a better person in my next relationship for my partner. And that's why like this period of rebuilding myself, some people might hop into a next relationship. But for me it's I just want to show up as my best version for my next partner. And that's why I decided to just go solo and just really sit with myself and heal whatever I need to heal. And I wasn't a perfect girlfriend either, okay? No one's perfect. I'm sure I had my flaws, and I've also recognized there were some trauma wounds that I had to heal. So, rebuilding myself, what I want to share is like, firstly, you really need to focus on yourself, and it's hard. Second, like just go all out. Like if you want to meet new people, go for it. It puts you out of the comfort zone, go for it. Like it doesn't have to be like you need to date straight away. Just meeting new friends, expand your group of friends, and take up a new hobby or something that you really wanted to try. And rebuilding yourself in the sense where, okay, what do you not like about yourself previously that you felt maybe insecure about? Like, not change yourself, but like because the aim is to be like you love yourself so much that you're so confident, right? So work on those things, like maybe you can try a new makeup style, or maybe you want to go to the gym, or you want to learn a new recipe. So yeah, anything that suits you. And then the second thing is write down like what are the things that you dislike in the previous relationship, so that you can identify like the red flags in your future partner. Also, write down the strengths and weakness of yourself. Do you know what? Like, I actually couldn't answer myself when I asked like what are my strengths. Can you imagine? Like, I'm 25 this year and I couldn't answer that. That really was like an eye-opening period where like, oh my god, do I like not know myself? So yeah, write down your strengths and weakness. I actually have my strengths now. I I know that I'm kind. I know I'm humble, I'm honest, I'm loyal, and I'm communicative, I'm transparent, I'm trustworthy, I'm strong, and I'm accountable to my mistakes, if there's any. I think I want to add the last one is like I'm not afraid to be alone. I've always been very independent. The third one that I can think of in terms of rebuilding myself is change your mindset. In terms of rewire your mindset, like if it helps, like whatever helps you, like a podcast, like talking to friends, or maybe therapy session, that might work for you. Because through all of this, like reading books, I realized like once I changed my mindset, it has really helped me even at work, or even at how I see my self-worth, what I want to say to like my future self, and how I would do things differently in my next relationship. I think I've learned to take things slow. Guess like coming from like being my first love, and my attachment style, I was very scared like that person wasn't going to be my person if I don't hold on to him, like I didn't make the relationship official. But what I've learned now is like, okay, hold fire, like the person's not gonna go anywhere, and you have the right to say no. Plus, the good thing about like taking things slow is like if there's any red flags early on, then yeah, bye bye. Like it's fine. Like you can meet another person. So that is definitely one of like the biggest lessons. Like take things slow. I wouldn't like rush things through. And then second is like similar to that point, like never settling for less. Cause like once you heal and once you go through a few relationships, you kind of know like what your standards are. And now like after one breakout, I know like I'm never settling for less. Like I've already listed down like what are the personality wise like characteristics, what kind of guy I like, and what kind of guy makes me feel good about myself. And yeah, just don't ever settle for less. When I go enter a new relationship, I will choose a person that I like the feeling I get when I'm with that person, not about the potential of that person. Because I guess like when I was dating, like I was so attracted to that person with like who was great in a lot of merits and stuff, and it was more like his potential. Like, oh, he has the potential to be a great husband. He has the potential of like taking care of me. But like at the moment, I was feeling like lonely in a relationship. Every like not emotionally connected, couldn't satisfy me in that way. So yeah, don't don't ever settle for just the potential. Like settle for like at that moment, how is he like? So I think it's a lot clearer for me now. I guess like a letter to myself is I'm really happy that you trusted your instincts that day and decided to walk away. I know it was like the most like difficult decision to make, and it was something that you thought through a lot of times, and you even probably gave too many chances. But I want to say that you know I'm proud of you. Like things make so much sense now. Like I really hope like you do not ever put yourself second to anyone else. Just know how amazing you are and how much love you bring to the table. And I guess like something that I want to tell you is don't give too much of yourself to a person. Like don't ever make him your whole world. Probably one of the mistakes that you've done is being too nice to someone. Like I hope you put yourself first and don't let people take you for granted. And I'm just very excited for what's to come for you. When you're ready, I know God will send someone that ticks every box. A guy that makes you feel best in your way. I'm excited for you to get to know yourself more and just fall in love with yourself, because if that love never comes, it's fine. Like, you have yourself. You will be okay. That comes to the end of my episode. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode and resonated with some people who has or is going through something similar. Just want to say you're not alone. Thank you, and give your like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.